All right, we are live. We are live. Happy Thursday, everyone. It's your girl Janice, the retail genius, and I'm super excited because we are kicking off season 2 of our behind the scenes series, The Untold Journey of a Black owned beauty supply store. So I'm super excited. Before I get started, y'all, as you guys are coming in our virtual room, let me know where you guys are logging in from. Also, let me know what city and state you guys are logging in from. I'm going to try to go live on Instagram as well. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm super excited for today. Let me fix the wig. Okay, guys, it's been a long day. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm here for a conference, and I'm like doing all the things at the same time. So that's just what's going on in my life. But I am so excited to bring my guest up to the virtual stage. Her name is Kai. She is from Philly, and her store is called Beauty to Go. It wasn't like a mobile beauty supply, and she was doing delivery. And I'm just gonna let her just come to the stage because it's so much. Her journey is so dynamic, and we're just excited to have her. So we are gonna bring her to the stage. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. I am so good. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is like a little TV series here on YouTube that I started like 2 years ago. I don't remember when I started it, but like I wanted to have a place where we can have the conversations that we can't have in other spaces.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea is for people to really understand the world of beauty supply from a Black woman's perspective. And so I'm super excited to be kicking it off with you because you have so much amazing things going on and the journey is amazing. So let's start from the beginning of you even like wanting to do like the delivery service and like what even got you to that place? Like what was the aha moment for you when you even got started with that?
Yeah, so the behind the scenes story of how Beauty to Go came about was I actually come from the corporate world. So I was actually working for you could say tech company, but they were a delivery service. And one day I think I would just hit that breaking point where I learned that the owners and founders of that business, they were like 3 years older than me at the time. And their company was valued at like $1 billion. And I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You're only 3 years older than me. The company at the time was like 8 years old, under 10 years old, their company. And I'm over here working and, putting time, equity, sweat, energy into just making their company more money, work, and things of that nature. And I just had that click moment where I was like, I am putting time and effort into somebody else's dream, literally building their dream. They're a startup, but I'm not putting time, effort, and energy into my own. Um, so I sat on it for a little bit and I just started creating a blueprint, creating a plan for, my beauty supply store. I always wanted a brick and mortar, but I was like, I'm not ready yet. I was nowhere near ready to go straight into brick and mortar. So I was like, I need another way to still pull this off. And at the time, when I was working at that company, it was like 2021. So the world was still in that in between
Mhm.
state. We were still restricted on, going into stores, how many people could be in stores, the occupancy. We're still wearing masks and things like there was a lot of just uncertainty still. And I said, well, what better way to still bring people beauty supplies, but just bring it right to their front doorstep. Because again, I wasn't ready for brick and mortar. So, like I said, I put pen to paper. I started drafting up a blueprint. And of course, because I also worked for a tech delivery service that
Yeah.
operated all over the United States, I was like, oh, I already have the blueprint. Let me
Right.
just let me just cater it to beauty supplies. So that's kind of the aha moment, the backstory of how I transformed from brick and mortar at first straight into a mobile beauty supply delivery service, delivering all over Philadelphia County in 1 hour or less. So been doing that since 2021 and rocking ever since. And now I'm brick and mortar.
That's so amazing. So, but like, why beauty supply? Like for the delivery service, like what made you think like I should do this delivery, but in like specifically beauty supply?
um, I think it was just another way to still pull off my dream, but also I realized that nobody's doing it. That was
Mm,
another thing, right?
yep.
Like, yes, I wanted a beauty supply store, but I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
we're all starting to get the idea beauty supply stores are popping up. But I was like, in what way can I still bring my community, my people, the people that look like me? How can I still get them the things that they need if I'm not going to do brick and mortar? And because of the state of the world, e-commerce was taken off. Right,
Right.
everybody's ordering DoorDash, Uber Eats. Everything is coming right. It's at your convenience and it's coming right to your doorstep. So I kind of just married the two ideas. And like I said, because of who I worked for, I was like, why not? I see how fast, how often people are ordering. And I know for our community, it's not being done at the moment. I was Googling around different people, but like some people started delivery, then stopped. Some people, were operating for a couple of months, then stopped. There wasn't any like long term solution. And I know there's so many, I have friends that are new moms to just in general, like my mom, people in my community. There's people that are just on the go. You get off of work, sometimes the
Mhm.
beauty supply store is closed by the time you get off of work. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Some of them close, at least around here during the pandemic, they were closing as early as like 5, 6 o'clock. So it was making it a lot harder to get the items that you needed. So I was like, okay, well, what if I just bring it to you and stay open just a little bit later so you could still get what you needed? So, granted, you can't come into, at the time I had a warehouse, you can't come into the warehouse, but you could place an order. And by the time you get home, I can meet you at your front doorstep. So it was just
Mhm.
about trying to find that middle ground, marrying the two, and of course, trying to service my community the best way I knew how. And, when I tell you, when people started finding out about me, they were like, about time,
Mhm.
about time. We can get anything in this world delivered. I've gotten a car part delivered the same day to my front doorstep.
Insane.
So why can't we get beauty supplies delivered? Like to be honest, this should have been done. This
Right.
should have been happening.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's kind of why I
Yeah,
just
I
stuck
love
with beauty
that.
supplies.
I love that. And it's just like you using like your technical knowledge plus your
Mhm.
passion and like you said, marrying the two. I just think that that's perfect. Okay, so now walk us through the journey of you actually like setting up the delivery, like setting up your website, like walk us through that. Like, did you have like all the things in place, or like what were some of the like things that you did? What were some like the obstacles or challenges? Like, walk us through that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say for me, it was extremely easy. I know for the average person, it's not going to be because just to give a little bit of insight, because I come from the tech world, I went back to school at this point, it's about 4 years ago. About a year and a half out of college, I went back to school and got a coding certificate. So I learned how to build websites from scratch, right? Not many people know that. So once upon a time, I wanted to be a software engineer. So I learned that technical skill at this point, like I said, about 4 years ago now, got the certificate, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic, the whole world shut down. Wasn't really able to pursue much with that, but I still had the certification, of course, and I still had all my knowledge. So now, a couple years later, now I know, okay, I have a delivery service. What is needed? I didn't want to do an app yet, but I said a website would be probably the best way. I just got to, work out the nuances. So just from my technical knowledge, I just started figuring out different platforms that I needed. That I want to go with Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Squarespace, things of that nature, or platforms of that nature. And then from there, I just kind of drilled down and made the best decision that I know that I knew how to work with. So that's kind of how I built the website aspect of it. And then I just sat there every day. I made myself a schedule. Okay. I was crazy.
Let's go.
Every every week, like I have a 12-week rollout plan that I created on Excel. Every week I had to check something
You
off
speak
the
my
box.
language, girl.
No, but it's so easy, especially when you're doing it yourself and you only have
Right.
yourself to depend on. You have to stay extremely organized. So once I created
Mhm.
the whole business plan and what I wanted to do, and I said, okay, beauty supply delivery, do it through a website. This is what we're gonna do, and in this, county, Philadelphia County, and I started building the website. I was like, okay, what is it gonna take to make this come to fruition? So I knew I needed graphics. Well, because of my degree, I went to school for design and merchandising. I know how to use the entire Adobe suite. So I was on Photoshop, InDesign. I'm creating graphics. I'm pulling from Google. Like I'm creating my whole, like, I'm kind of the one-stop shop at the time. So created all the graphics for the website. And then on top of that, I wasn't pulling from the top of my head. I used other references. So other key players in the industry, I kind
Yeah.
of used that as a reference. And I was like, okay, well, you have different categories. Which categories? You got your braiding hair, your edge control, your leave-in conditioner. So I just
Mhm.
started using all of those as a reference, breaking down all of my categories. Yes, it was a little bit of a learning curve, learning Shopify. It is a third party system. So once I got used to navigating and figuring out how to create categories, subcategories,
Mhm.
collections, and things like that, from there it was just about, all right, build the website. You already have your logo, you already have your branding. That part was already done. And the next step after that was opening up what do you call it, vendor accounts.
The accounts.
So yeah, so at that point it was okay, pick your items. Once I knew what items I wanted and it was ready to be shipped to me, then I was able to go back. This is the long part of the process, the long drawn out part. But once I knew the products that were going to be on my website, I went, found the images for it, and then I did a like cost analysis where I sat and went on all of the websites for beauty supplies and I compared different prices. Also, what was in my area as well, because I wanted to be competitive, but I didn't want to like outprice myself. So
Mhm.
just yeah, I just priced myself with the current market. Went on, and I just had, there was times where I would be up 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. sitting at my desk, sitting at my laptop, blasting music in the background, and it's just task based. Upload the image, upload the cost, upload the retail price, get a description, copy and paste it, on to the next one. So that's kind of how I built the website.
That is amazing. So once you launched it, like, how was it getting people to know who you are and getting
Yeah.
people to trust you? And
Hmm.
the concept is was probably new to people. Like, did you
Yeah.
have any weird like issues with people like and coming to their house?
Yeah, so it building the trust was definitely something I was concerned about because it is new. And nowadays people scam, they just take your money and things of that nature. So I knew that that was going to be a challenge and I just had to figure out the best way. So one of the ways that I built trust with my customers, I launched, and of course family and friends supported me my first week, 2 weeks, people
Mhm.
bought, reposted
Right.
me on Instagram, things of that nature. So like my close knit community knew about me, but I was like, I need the Philadelphia customer to know about me. So one thing I did to help build trust was Google reviews. So
Yeah.
even family and friends, after they placed an order, I would text them the link to my Google page, and I would just say, leave me a review. So if you have 10, 15 friends that leave you a review,
Yeah.
that starts building the trust, because nowadays when people shop, they're going straight to the reviews. Oh, I
Yeah.
want to see the
Sure.
good, the bad, the ugly. Like they want to see all of that. So it started with the Google reviews. It also was my social media presence. Like I didn't BS with that. When I started the Instagram
Mhm.
page and the Facebook
Mhm.
page, I said my branding has to be seamless. My messaging has to be seamless.
Yeah.
This is going to be very professional, just from the icon and the badges on Instagram, my logo, everything on my Instagram, it's strategically there for a reason. Hell, even the template, the template that I use when I post a specific way for a reason because I want it to look a
Great.
certain way.
Yeah.
So I knew that all of those things help build, one, brand recognition, my brand identity, but also build, the trust between me and my users, so or followers. Another thing that I did was I just reached out to people on Instagram. Like I came up with a little generic 2-3 sentence little paragraph saying, "Hi, I'm Kai. I'm the owner of Beauty to Go. It's a mobile beauty supply delivery service in Philly." And then I put a couple of spaces, and then I would put my link, www.shopbeautytogo.com, and I would copy and paste that, and I would find every hairstylist and braider in Philly on Instagram. I would just DM it to them, random, just DM it to them, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, didn't know
That's
about you."
interesting. I
Yeah, I
love
went
that.
crazy.
That's hustle right there. Like it's almost like, passing out the flyers, but like you were just DMing people.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's how you do it, y'all. That's how you do
Yeah.
it. Okay. So now walk us through now you have this website, you have the
Mhm.
social media presence. Like what was the next step for you?
Website, a little bit of social media presence. To be honest, my next step was just building my customer base. That was the most important, because without the customers, you're not generating any type of revenue. So I just tried, and I mean many, many, many different ways to find my customer, my target audience. I've done TikTok ads. That helped tremendously, right? I
Mhm.
called one of my homegirls up and I was like, "Yo, I need you to be my actress, and I have this skit I want to do." I have this skit I want to do. I have the vision. I'll direct it. I just need you. Like, I didn't want to be the face of the business. That's another thing. I did not want to be the face of Beauty to Go. So I wanted it at first to be a faceless business, because I wanted people to trust my service.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to just fall in love with who I was and what she
Mhm.
looks like, because sometimes women could be a little when it comes
Mhm.
to trusting different brands and who you are, or where's she from. Oh, I went to school with her. No, you didn't. You don't know me. No, you didn't. You don't know me. So with that being said, at first I was not the face of the business. So yeah, I called my homegirl. I was like, "Yo, I need you to do this skit with me. I already have it planned. You don't even have to speak. You just have to move, act, and do it." So I did my first like TikTok video thing, and then I just put a little bit of marketing dollars behind it. I think I spent like $100, and just let it go. And I gained so many followers on Instagram because I directed people to come back to the Instagram.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was one way. Like that was one way I really tried to tap into the target audience. I didn't do too many Instagram or Facebook ads because TikTok is kind of the wave, and that was where my customer was.
Okay.
So definitely did that. Of course, consistently. Oh, that's another thing. Consistently posting on Instagram and Facebook. Not
Mhm.
gonna lie. Remember that 12-week list I talked about? Well, I did almost a 3 to 6 month content calendar. So every 3 days, I was posting on Instagram, and I wasn't doing anything manually. That's another thing. One thing about me: automation, automation, automation. So I would come up with the post like maybe a week before, and I would schedule it to post. So I don't have to worry about anything. The caption is already done, the
Yeah.
imaging, the graphic, whatever, it's done, and it posted. So once people started to see that I was consistently posting, I didn't just post one day and then 3 months later post another day. I was
Right.
consistently posting. So for about my first 3 months, I had over 100 posts, but they were all relatable posts.
Mhm.
So between, the TikTok, ad that I put out, and, posting consistently on Instagram, did a little bit of that. I also did pop-up shops, in the local community where I was passing out flyers to everybody. And I went to everybody's table. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. Follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope y'all paid attention because you heard what she said. She posted consistently. She put some marketing dollars behind ads, behind paid advertisement, right? And then there's other things she's gonna share later. But it's a business. And so sometimes I feel like, especially like with brick and mortar business,
Hmm.
we just feel like we're just gonna build it and then people are just gonna come. But like in this world right now, in this digital world, in this saturated market, like
Hmm.
you can't just build it and they're gonna come. one interesting thing that you said was that you was thinking about being a faceless
Mm-hmm.
beauty supply store.
Yep.
Whereas the wave right now is black owned beauty supply stores and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. So, and like with black owned businesses in general, like there's this ridiculously high bar for black owned businesses
Mm-hmm.
just in general, especially in beauty supply. And it's just almost an unrealistic bar that we put on our black businesses. I
Yep.
experience this and many other people experience it. What do you think that is? Why do we get treated a certain way as black owned businesses?
I don't even have a straightforward answer to that. Why? I don't know
Yes, you
because
do.
I feel the pressure as well. Like,
Yeah. But what is
there. Say that again.
But what is that? Like, where do you think that comes from where people come to our business and there's this ridiculously high expectation for our businesses?
I mean, I feel like that is just kind of how our community is. Like, we'll sometimes go out and shop with other races, ethnicities, and it is what it is. You kind of take it or leave it. But then when we shop with our own people, well, we'll start nitpicking at each other. Well, you don't have this, and it don't look like this, and I seen it like this, or they'll start comparing us to. Well, it's not like Target. Well, it's not like Walmart. It's not like these big conglomerates. And it's like, hold up, I'm not a big conglomerate yet. I don't have Walmart
Mhm.
and Target money yet. I don't have that budget yet. So like let's backtrack and let's tone it down a notch. But yeah, I also feel like because of the way of the world right now, especially with the digital transformation and just everything being digital, everything being so convenient, Amazon can now ship overnight now. I can get my stuff the next day. I think it had an impact on people's expectations, and now people have unrealistic expectations on top of the other unrealistic expectations we already
Mhm.
have as a black owned business. I don't know. I don't know if people just walk in and think, well, because you're black you're just supposed to get it right 100% of the time, and
Mm.
you know best how to service your own people maybe mentality, so why isn't
Mhm.
it 100% great, 100% good? Like, it's like we have little room for error sometimes. And I hate that for us because we need grace just as much as the next person. So it kind of comes with the territory. I'm not saying that we can't combat it or it can't get better, but I think it's all in how you regulate your business, and what standards you set for yourself. That's also important. I feel like for Beauty to Go and what I've built, I've set such a standard that there's been times where I fell off, where like, oops, I didn't deliver in the hour that I time frame that I
Mhm.
said, or I didn't communicate like how I was supposed to. And I'll say people didn't drag me for it, but they were like, excuse me, I was supposed to get it in an hour and it's been an hour and 15 minutes. And it's like, okay, ma'am, it's pouring raining outside. You want to relax? So it,
Right.
it's just a part of the game, to be honest. But I feel like as long as you try your best to manage people's expectations and stay
Mhm.
consistent with the bar that you set, like don't go and set a high bar and do it once. I rather you set the tone here where,
Consistent tone. Yeah.
yeah, where it's attainable. So that's kind of my answer for that.
That's good. Okay, so now let's talk about you now preparing for like the brick and mortar. And then like what was the aha moment where you're like, okay, I want to now take this to the next level, and then like walk us through that.
Yeah, how did Kai end up with a brick and mortar store? So honestly, I hit a point, I will say, back in October, right? Where I actually got fired from my job. And I was like, okay, well, what's next? I was always interviewing. So I was like, okay, let's just keep interviewing. Let's get back to it. Nothing's gonna stop. At the same time, I'm still running Beauty to Go in the background. And something told me, well, let's try and go get some funding because you need more inventory. You need to upgrade your product assortment. I just moved into that large warehouse. It was about 800 square feet, warehouse, and I was like, I need more product. I got to fill this warehouse so I could keep the deliveries moving. So long story short, after about a month and a half, I found a financial institution that lended to small business owners, minority business owners, and I just started the conversation and asked them, how do I apply? What is the process? What's the requirements? What's going on? So the first time around, I pitched the Beauty to Go mobile idea, so same
Mhm.
delivery service idea, and they actually didn't want to fund me. They denied me off
Mhm.
the rip. And I was like, okay, so now what? Because if I don't get this funding, Beauty to Go is not going to survive. Granted, I still had my income from my job, but I may not survive this. I need some type of cash injection to help keep me afloat. So I was like, all right, back to the drawing board. So because I also created a relationship with the loan officer, of that
Mhm.
financial institution, and me and her got to talking. She is actually my homegirl now. But we got to talking, and I just emailed her one day, and I was like, hey, listen, I think I'm gonna just shut down Beauty to Go. I'll probably at this point take the whole month off and some change and just shut it all down because I don't know what I'm gonna do next. And I told her, I was like, I was thinking about brick and mortar, but I'm not sure. And she
Mm.
hit me back with an email and was like, you want to do brick and mortar? I like that idea. I know a guy. He has a store
Mhm.
available for rent. And I was like, wait, what? What are you saying to me right now? This was like maybe 48 hours. So she was like,
Wow.
yeah. She was like, I know a guy, because she is a loan officer. She speaks to many, many, many different
Yeah.
people. So she was like, oh, yeah, I know somebody, he wants to rent out his spot. It's, fully renovated, the whole nine. So I said, okay. She's like, I'll set it up. I want to say that was like on a Tuesday. That Friday, I went and I seen it. Walked around, fell in love with it. I said, oh, this is mine. This is
Mhm.
mine. And there was a small challenge in the way. There was a girl that came before me that was interested. She was actually going to open up a hair braiding salon. And the landlord told me, he was like, listen, I'm giving her till the end of next week to let me know if she wants the spot or not, and we'll go from there. So I said, okay. So I went back to the drawing board, spoke to the loan officer again. I was like, listen, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I want to move forward if that girl doesn't take it. And lo and behold, I want to say like 3 days later, the landlord called me. He was
Wow.
like, well, yeah, he was like, well, she does, she's not going to move forward with it. So if you want it, it's yours. I said, how much? How much? How much? You don't have to tell me nothing else. I said, how much and when do you need it? He was like, mind you, all of this is going down in a 3 week like time span. I want people to understand.
Insane.
I got denied. Literally, I got the declination letter from the loan officer. Emailed her the next day or 2 days later. Said, hey, I may shut down, but I'm thinking about brick and mortar. I don't know. She
Mhm.
emailed me back the same day and said, okay, I got somebody. By the end of the week, I was viewing this location. The following week went by. He calls. If you want it, it's yours. Week 3, I'm in here signing the lease.
Wow.
That's how fast it was happening.
That's so crazy. How
Yeah.
fast things can move, y'all. I hope y'all are hearing this, right? Because
Yes.
there's some people who's like, "Oh my God, I've been wanting to do this for years," and it's just
Mm.
like sometimes you just have to like trust God's timing because His timing is perfect.
Yeah, and I'll say that was that's like the story of my life, the timing. Like trust God's timing
Mhm.
because not too many people know that I've been saying I wanted a brick and mortar beauty supply store since I was a senior in high school. A
Wow.
senior in high school. Like I had a bad experience. I had a bad experience at one of the traditionally Korean owned beauty supply stores. And I was like, I walked out of there and I told one of my friends, I said, I'm going to get my own beauty supply store. And it's going
Yeah.
to be, at the time, I said, it's going to be called the Weave Emporium. It's just going to be big and 20,000, I lied to you not, 20,000 square feet of just beauty supply. And that was senior year. And over time in college, I even did my first business plan in college was
Wow.
for a wig shop. So that's how I learned how to build a business plan. I had to pitch to the professor. I was working with a team of people, things of that nature. And that was my first real taste of like, oh my God, I have to write a business plan. What is this? And what goes into this? And it was a whole lot of behind the scenes, but that was in college. And then I still had it in the back of my head. I was like, I want my own. I want my own. I just don't know how to do it yet. I want my own. So of course, graduating from college, then getting into, regular corporate life, still in the back of my head, I'm like, I gotta get
Right.
out of here. I got to get out of here. I don't even want to be here. I want to leave. So I've always had that in the back of my head. I'm going to open up a beauty supply store. I just didn't know when. And in 2021, when I had that moment working, of course, in corporate, I was like, oh, it's not a store, but it's delivery. I can cater to the world because half of the world is shut down still. We still have COVID. All right, let's do it. So that was the beginning. Hey, your store is on the way. And what, 2.5, almost 3 years later, here I am at brick-and-mortar.
Wow.
I'm here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is such an insane story.
Insane.
And I remember also like when you were in the boot camp program and we had like mapped out like, okay, we're just gonna go from this warehouse and it's just gonna be a bigger thing. And like
Mm-hmm.
the plan was completely different.
Yeah, the plan was, I started out in a very, very small storage unit, right? Like literally less than 400 square feet. Started there, and then I took that leap of faith, and I found a 800 square foot warehouse, big. And I think I was operating in the first one for about a little over a year and some change. Moved into the bigger warehouse, and I said, "Oh, this is it. Like, I don't really need a store right now. Like, I can
Yeah.
just do delivery. It's fine. Everything's cool." That was February of 2023 when I got the bigger warehouse. I thought I was going to be there for like 3 to 5 years just operating. And, later that year in 2023, in October, November, boom, store falls into my lap. And I was like, I got to take this. I got to do this. I have to, it's now. We got to do this right now. So I only had the new warehouse for not even a year. I didn't even have it for a year. So, but this is a testament to knowing how to pivot. If there's anything anybody takes away from this, it's know when and how to pivot. Like, just because one door closes, that doesn't mean just sit there. No, go open up another one. Go back to the drawing board. Go figure it out. There's multiple ways to do or achieve your dream. And I've had to pivot many, 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 many of times,
Yes, child. Her pivot game is strong. So strong. Which is amazing. So now fast forward and you're here in the store and have a grand opening. So tell the people about the grand opening, the date, and where it's at. Also share your Instagram so everyone can follow you.
Yes, of course, of course. So I'm actually going to do the soft launch. So the soft launch is going to be on February 10th. I'm opening the doors at 10 a.m. And of course, as you can see a little bit in the background, I'm still like getting the store together. It looks a hot mess right now. But yes, so that's a soft launch on February 10th at 10 a.m. You guys can follow me on Instagram at beauty, the number 2, go.pa. So at beauty, the number 2, go.pa. But yeah, the address of the shop, it is located in Philadelphia. So it'll be 1815 North 54th Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19131.
So give us a little tour real quick. I know you said it looks crazy, but show the people what you're working with. This is like the raw of like before y'all. It's like boxes everywhere.
Yeah.
Probably. But
I'll give you
love
guys
this space.
Yes, I'll give you guys a small tour. Okay, so let me start from the front door. Let me turn it around. All right, so that's the front door. This is my decor wall. It's nowhere near done, but that's going to have some nice decor, flowers on it, things of that nature.
I love it.
Let me walk around to the front really quick. All right, so I'm going to stand at the front door so you guys can see. I'm not sure what you guys can see. All right, so yep. All right, so here's the cash register. Yep, that took forever to build, but finally happened. I do have my boyfriend in the background helping me put up stuff.
Hey,
Wave.
boyfriend.
Just hi. Um, but yeah, and then that's the pink wall again. So I'll go over to some of the shelving here. Hold on. Okay, so that's the shelving. Putting up some stuff over here to my right. This is more shelving. So wigs is gonna go on here, makeup on here, and then here's the actual gondola shelving. So let me come this way. So I started to put stuff on the shelves. Nowhere near done yet, but I needed to kind of space things out, see what I was kind of working
What
with.
you're working with. Yes.
So black gondolas, and then I'll walk around to the other side. More natural hair care products, deep conditioner, stuff like that. And then I have this gondola on the other side. This is going to be like where I hang my braiding hair.
Wall, yes. Big wall is clutch.
Hold on, let me come to this. Oh, I have some hung way over here just to see what it's like, what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Spacing things out, trying to see like how much room I have and things of that nature. So, yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Throw some hearts and some fire in the chat for our good who's about to launch her store. Soft launch in February 10th, y'all. February 10th. So if you guys are in the area, definitely pull up because we want to definitely support our good sis. Because this is no small feat, y'all. This is no small feat. Um, all right, so we're going to wrap up here. So leave us like 3 words of wisdom for anyone who is like, oh, this is what I want to do, and give us
Yeah.
something. Give us some gems.
Some gems, I would say it's okay if it doesn't happen on the timeline that you want it to happen on. Like I said, I've been wanting a beauty supply store since I was a senior in high school, and I didn't really start until 2021. That's when Beauty to Go launched. And that was July of 2021. And it's not until almost 2 years later that I got the brick and mortar store. Whole time I was pushing, I wanted it, wanted the store. I was going out looking at stores, had zero funding, $0 in my account, still looking at stores. Again, if it's meant for you, it will be for you, right? And you have to strategically do things, not just throw money at it or sign a lease and get yourself into some nonsense. So timing is everything, and be patient. Another thing I would tell people also is don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. I'll take it back to the whole faceless business thing. Now I kind of show my face a little bit more because Janice yells at me to
Yeah,
do it.
all the time. Like, you're not going live enough. You need to post. And then I feel like we had one time where I was like, I need you to do a regular video telling people who you are, why you're doing this, because people support people they know, like,
Mhm.
and trust.
Yes,
And
exactly.
trust a faceless brand. Like, who are you? Like, who am I here to?
But they did though. But they did trust me. They did, and they trusted my good social media skills when it came to coming up with that TikTok reel, Instagram reel. And I made my friend the face of the business. She was my actress. Nobody cared at that point. They cared more about the service than they did seeing my face. So I introduced myself. I did take your advice. I did start introducing myself little by little, just doing stories and showing kind of like everyday life and what it's like introducing them into my world. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna rock this faceless business until I can't anymore. And now I can't because I have a store. So like y'all gonna come see me every day. But yeah, no, I will say that don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Like I said, I went to pop-up shops in the community, paid the vendor fee, hauled all my beauty supplies with my little cart buggy thing, looking crazy, smelling like beauty supplies. Um, but I made a name for myself little by little. I also, wasn't afraid to just tell people what I do. When people ask me what did I do, regardless if I was still working in corporate or not, I would say, "Oh, I'm a beauty supply owner. I own a delivery service," and they'll be like, "What? Tell me more. What?" Don't be afraid to tell people what you do. Have your little business card in your back pocket. I'm also bad at that. So have your business card in your pocket. Be ready to follow me on Instagram. Don't be afraid to speak your dreams, talk about your dreams, let people know what you're doing. And like I said, my last thing of putting yourself out there, a lot of people know about like different hair pages and stuff on Instagram, especially we're in this digital space.
Yeah.
If I didn't take that leap of faith and do a paid promo with some of these hair pages,
Oh
I
yes, talk about that, good sis. We almost forgot about that. Tell the people about that. Give them that gem. We ain't gonna give out
yes,
too much gems, y'all, because y'all gotta be in the program. But give them people that gem. That was a good one.
yes. Okay, so this is kind of how I built my customer base. Like, don't get me wrong, I built it from the Google reviews and talking about the business, telling people about it. Oh, follow me on Instagram. But I needed to cast that net wide, and I was trying to do it fast. So what I did was I smartened up, and that same TikTok reel that I put money behind on TikTok, I took that same reel and I found like a couple different hair pages. A couple of them were like local to my community, but then you just have the regular hair pages themselves. And of course, I scraped together a couple pennies, and I said, "All right, my budget is like $150. This is all I got." So I just DM'd the pages asking them how much is it for promo, and I spent $45 on this one page, and
Mm.
yep, I spent $45 on this one page. It wasn't even a hair page; it was just one of those big promo pages,
Like
but it
a
was,
paid page, yeah.
yeah, but it was local to the Philly, Jersey, kind of Delaware followers, and they had like over 300,000 followers. So I said, let's just do it. So I paid for to get my reel reposted, and it went off the chain.
I
Okay, it
agree.
had over 50,000 views. It had over 300 comments. People were eating it up. And I was like, when I tell you I was scared, I had knots in my stomach. I turned my phone off because sometimes people can be very cruel, and it could be your own people. Sometimes they could be very cruel. So I went in the comments. When I tell you, people were like, "Fire, we love this, where have you been?" They were like supporting me, big upping me, like they loved it. So, and from that point on, that $45, I think the video dropped on like a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
That weekend, I think I made anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000
Wow.
in 2 days doing deliveries, and I was back to back to back. As soon as the store was open, I was like on the road just 2 days straight, didn't even stop. So that was the best return on my investment. And if I didn't take that leap of faith and say, you know what, I don't care what people think about me, the video could flop, the video could not get 2 views, 1,000 views. I could get no sales. I just still went into it with a, you know what, scare money don't make no money. And that
Amen.
45 that $45 generated me $1,500. So, but yeah, so don't be afraid to put yourself out there, especially on social media. People are on social media 20. When you think people are sleeping, people are up.
They're up.
And
They're
again, with using that social media page, I gained over 2,500 followers in a weekend.
wow.
And those are my targeted customers.
Right.
So imagine if I, spent more money and got posted on the other hair pages and stuff like that. That's just potential revenue, because now I could
Yep.
start shipping. I've already shipped to St. Thomas. I
Wow.
could keep going. You know what I mean? Like, I've already shipped to Florida. I could just keep
Yeah.
going. There's many, many other streams of income that you can generate within your business. It doesn't just have to be brick and mortar or just have to be mobile delivery. But Sorry, blabbed on, gave a lot of
No, we
gems.
love that because I remember when we going through the numbers and then we started looking at all these other pages and I'm like, we got to double down on this. You got to work what's working, guys. You got to work what's working for you. And then I think it's good that you mentioned
Mhm.
that there's going to be people who are not going to be nice, especially online, y'all.
Mhm. Yep.
And there's a certain thick skin you have to have, especially again, especially as a black owned beauty supply store owner. Not everyone is going to like you, and then there's going to be competition and
Mhm.
all the things. Talk about your journey in that.
Oh gosh, here we go.
We had to tussle
And
for
I
our
did, and I tussled, and that's why I'm the most well-known, prominent, number one beauty supply delivery service in Philadelphia. There's nobody else that could do it. There's nobody else that could do it. Say their name. What's their name? Anyways, but yeah, so my experience with unkind people, haters as we call them, um, this was my first ever experience dealing with that within this space. And at first I didn't know how I was going to handle it. Right? Was I going to reply back on Instagram? Was I going to get on live? Was I going to get on the stories? And I'm not. I realized that that was the wrong way to go. So I did.
yeah,
I took the high road. And when it
yes,
happened, I'll explain how it happened. So I took that. Remember that $45 I spent to get posted? Yes. So I got posted, and another competitor, another local competitor, I guess it rubbed her the wrong way, and she started going in the comments,
she
just
got
saying things.
y'all. She came on the girl's page on her post rather, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I s-
Hmm.
Oh,
It was a lot. It was a lot. She was commenting rude things, things that didn't even make sense, and things that was just like, okay, you're trying to dim my light to make yours shine brighter, and it's coming off as you're just mad because you're not doing as well as you want to do, or I may be doing a little bit better than you. Um, so how I decided to handle that was I did not clap back. I didn't say anything back. I didn't go in the comments swinging and fighting and talking ish like I really wanted to. Don't get it twisted. I had all my homegirls. They was in the comments. They was ready to fire back, but I knew that that would be a poor representation of myself and my brand and what I believe in. So I decided to, with all my strength, withhold from any of that type of behavior. And all I did was keep it in the back of my mind. Keep it in the back of my mind because that's the first time, but it's not going to be the last time. So
right.
with that being said, I just kept on minding my business. I put my blinders on as if I didn't even
Yeah.
see her, and I just kept doubling down. So if I, got posted, I said, okay, I'm going to get posted 3 more times. I'm going to make sure you see me when you wake up, when you close your eyes. You will have other people talking about me. I'm your customers, they're mine now. I'm going to be the number one. And that is what I did. I took that energy, that passion, that fire, and I just put it straight back into the
Straight
business.
back into your business.
Yeah. So till this day, I have not. She's still doing nut stuff. Like she's still acting crazy. Heck, she's even DM'd some of my customers saying, "Oh, Beauty to Go is a fraud. Don't don't shop with them."
Scam. Oh gosh, they say that about everybody. They
Yeah,
say it about me.
exactly. So, but it's crazy. Till this day, she ain't at me though. I don't have no direct mentions. I have no DM. I have no
And I
no.
told you you're not going to get them either because it's just a thing of like you just have to let people see you shine. And I
Yeah.
promise you, God is going to bless you.
Yes. And
Yes.
that is what ruffled the competitors' feathers the most. The fact that I wasn't even giving into her consistent nonsense and talking crap and whatever the case may be. And I just, like I said, I kept my blinders on. And anytime I did something, I did it big. Anytime I wanted to do marketing, I put extra money behind it. Anytime that I just
Uh-huh.
did anything, I just made sure I was just extra about it, and I just acted like she wasn't even there. And I know that pissed her off more and more and more. So now we here now.
We here
Delivery ain't
now,
going
and the
nowhere.
blow up is so real because you're about to open, and we are just so excited about it. I know I'm so excited about it.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the third gem that I'll give you guys. You are gonna run into competitors. You
Right.
are gonna
You
run
are
into
going to run into competitors, y'all. You just
and it,
got to stay forward and
you
focus on
yes,
your business. You have to.
yes. And
You know, the thing is like when you build a loyal tribe, like she
mhm,
built a loyal tribe, like the girl literally tried to steal customers. And when you have a loyal tribe, they're just not going to go for it.
right,
They're
at
just
all.
not going to go for it. And
At
so I
all. Yes, and that's why I worked so hard to build, my Google reviews. I had over 50, 5-star reviews, but that was, effort on my part. After every delivery, I was texting people that same link, that same message. Hi, thank you for, your purchase. Can you leave me a review? Some people ignored me. Some people were like, yeah, sure, we love you. Yeah, girl, I'm gonna leave the review. But 2 years later, going on 3, I now have over 50 reviews. I'm trusted now. You see me on Instagram, you see the brand recognition. Like it's going to take a lot from this point on to tear me down because I've built myself a very strong and solid foundation. So as long as you have a solid foundation, nobody could take you off of that. And like I said, you're going to have competitors that look like you, and
Mhm.
all skin folk ain't kin folk. And that's the harsh reality that I had to understand very, very early. Because like there are other people in the area, and I'm like, yeah, let's be friends and let's hang out and let's share tips and tricks, and I want to help. Oh no, I got a harsh reality check, a harsh
Mm.
reality real quick. So again, all skin folk and kinfolk, and that is okay. But when you come into this game, like a lot of people think that it's just, oh yeah, we're just beauty supplies and that's it. No, you need to have a very tough and thick skin because you're gonna get shut down. You're gonna get told no. You're gonna get turned away. People are gonna turn their nose up. Oh, I know somebody better. Oh, such and such down the block do this. Oh, but I could just go to the bigger Korean store. It's bigger. Da 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 da. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Okay. It's never gonna go away. It's just you can't manage what other people do. You can only can control yourself. So.
Oh, that's a bar. Bar. That's a bar. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Kai, for coming on and sharing your journey with us. You are literally one of my favorite mentees of all
Oh.
time. Such a pleasure to have. And I'm just so proud to see you finally get open and realize your dream. So, guys, we are going to wrap it up here. But before you go, guys, we are having the Retail Revolution Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, April 11th through the 13th. All my favorites. Are you going to be there?
I can. I can.
All my
Okay.
are going to be there. Kai's going to be there. And so it's just going to be a time, y'all. And literally, there's no other conference for us by us. And so
Mhm.
I want everybody who can come to come, go to the retailrevolutionconference.com, get y'all tickets, meet me and my good sis and all my other mentees that's going to be there. And y'all, we will see you on the next episode of Behind the Scenes
Yay.
of a Beauty Supply Store Owner. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.